Hey everyone, I just want to say that I am severely unwell, but I will try my best to give you the information about the new Marvel Secret Lair that is coming out. I'll be showing off all the cards in it, giving my thoughts and opinions on if you should buy this or not, or is it worth it overall. But before I go any further, a word from our sponsor. When it comes to the sponsor, it is me. I have a small little Etsy page where I make t-shirts and hoodies, very soft and in multiple colors and many sizes. When it comes to these, there's designs on it that make me laugh or I think people would enjoy. So if you have any ideas that I think I should put on t-shirts or hoodies, let me know in the comments down below. But while you're there, remember to buy one. When it comes to this, all the proceeds go to helping the channel, so I'm able to get new lighting and new mics and make these videos better for you, so it's a double benefit. So if you like me and what I do, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you really want to help, go and buy yourself some nice merch. So Secret Lair is at it again, doing a Secret Lair cross Marvel this time. In this you get multiple famous superheroes having their own secret lair. Now in saying this, I am a Marvel fan, but not a huge one. I like the movies, I'll see some of the stuff online. I remember some of the cartoons and stuff like that from the 90s, but I'm not big into the lore, so if I get stuff wrong, I apologize in advance. When it comes to these secret lairs, I think they're more of a hero's a commander and a handful of staple cards for the deck that we're aiming for you to build. The rest is on to you. So now in saying that, let's start off with
Black Panther.
So this superhero gets its own card with a bunch of cards that go with it. So those cards are
Black Panther, Wakandan King, Earth's mightiest emblem as arcane signet, heroic intervention, Wakandan skyscraper as Karn's bastion, Bast's blessing, primal vigor, secure the wastes, warrior.
So the commander seems really good and very unique, and that's what I like when it comes to this type of stuff. Now that there's a primal vigor in this deck, that is absolutely amazing because primal vigor is an amazing card overall. However, I still want to get my hands on, and I still think the Mystical Archives versions in English and Japanese are a lot better. But there is a few downsides when it comes to this, starting off with Karn's Bastion. I'm not the biggest fan of lands, but I kind of accept if a land has an ability, and this ability does help the deck. However, there are so many cards that would have made this deck a lot better that is roughly the same price and roughly the same kind of unique abilities. So when it comes to Karn's Bastion getting a Secret Lair card, I'm not the biggest fan overall. The second being Arcane Signet. I don't mind if they do a Secret Lair with artifacts, if it's all of them, because there has been some really good ones that has Soul Ring and Arcane Signet, and then a few artifacts kind of base cards that everyone will like and enjoy, especially in an alt art. However, having it in a Secret Lair, I'm not the biggest fan of. And then in my opinion, having one of the best kind of defensive cards to protect your stuff in this is also a good thing, but this card used to be pricey and has dropped off, and I do think the same is going to happen because of this Secret Lair. My opinion in this whole Secret Lair is the command is good. Some cards are really good, and because they're really good, they then end up deciding putting one or two meta cards in. But now let's go on to
Captain America.
This is one of the most famous people in Marvel when it comes to anything heroic and stuff like that. When I think of Marvel, Captain America is one of those cards. When it comes to Secret Lair, you get
Captain America, First Avenger, Flawless Maneuver, In the Trenches, Captain America's Aid as Sigarda's Aid, Shield of War and Peace as Sword of War and Peace. Now the Cap himself is a really powerful and unique card yet again. I do like that they've done the unique thing, because I did find it weird when I first looked at this card that it wasn't in Ruberg order, but I ended up seeing a video sort of explaining why. He is red, white and blue because he is America. So that's why they changed it just for this card, and I do like it when Secret Lair does them kind of little twerks that don't make much of a difference when it comes to the game itself, however is good for kind of conversational pieces or just humor in general. Sword and Peace and the Aid is an amazing card, especially for a deck like this. I do find this deck to be very powerful before you even add any other cards in. Depending on what the artifact equipment you then decide to put in this deck could make this deck a very powerful thing indeed. My only problem with this is Into the Trenches. It gives other creatures +1/+1. Now I know Captain America helps other people and stuff like that, so it is kind of good for the deck. However, when a deck is solely, or the commander is solely based on artifact equipment and not other creatures,
I do find this a weird card to be in, and plus I do not like this card in general overall. The Secret Lair as a whole, I do think that it is a good one, especially because Cap has an amazing ability, got good strategies already in the Secret Lair, and the rest is then up to you with a 1 or 2 downsides with the Secret Lair. But the art is cool, and the Secret Lair overall I think is quite good, and I think will be very good if you are definitely a Captain America fan. And now we're on to Doom. No, not Doom, he's not Doom yet, he's
Iron Man.
Or was Iron Man. Timelines are weird. When it comes to the Secret Lair, you get
Iron Man, Titan of Innovation, Commander's Plate, Galvanic Blast, Inventor's Fair, Sol Ring, Treasure.
This one in my opinion is meh. This is like the perfect 5 out of 10. I do think the Commander itself is really good and has a unique ability, and I do like him. However, I do find it's the other cards. The fact that there's a treasure token with the mask is a really good kind of tribute to him and Iron Man as a whole. Commander Plate in this is absolutely amazing and broken, and in my opinion, the best part of this Secret Lair. However, it's the other 3 cards that I find to be the worst part of this. Galvanic Blast makes sense as the blasts coming from his hands shown in the artwork. However, I just find it very strange because there is so many more powerful cards that this could have been. Having a land does make sense, especially what this land does, and again, I'm not the biggest fan of lands in Secret Lair as a whole, but I do accept it if the land has a unique ability or is a powerful land. So this is kind of like, because Iron Man himself and Commander Plate is really good, they felt like they put this in just to be like, we needed to put a card in and this seems the best option in their opinion, but I do think it is one of the weakest points of this Secret Lair. And then again, Sol Ring. The fact that there's going to be a Spider-Man set is quite good. However, I do think this card would have been really good because Spider-Man and Iron Man are very close. So having this as a Sol Ring in this set makes sense. But in the Secret Lair, with how much you're paying for it, I find this to be a big kind of FU. But as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of artifacts or very common used cards in Secret Lairs, Sol Ring being one of them. But I do think that it is a good tribute to him and the past and stuff like that, but it would have been better in the set, in my opinion. Now out of all of these, we are going on to
Storm.
And now we're going on to the Storm Secret Lair, and out of all the Marvel characters, I'm kind of shocked Storm got one, but again, I'm not the biggest fan. I would have picked way many people like Professor X or Magneto, but Storm is a really good character when it comes to Secret Lairs, and in this Secret Lair you get
Storm. Force of Nature, Ice Storm, Storm's Will as Jessica's Will, Lightning Bolt, Aurora Borealis as Monomorphose.
In my opinion, I think this is the best one, close to a second one, that will be the last one. I do think the Commander is the most powerful Commander out of all of the Secret Lairs, and the cards are very good that go with it. However, there is some flaws. Lightning Bolt getting another Secret Lair or another full art treatment is kind of the same as Sol Ring and Path of Exile and stuff like that, where it's overseen and overused. It seems to be a throwaway card. If I'm spending a lot of money on 4 or 5 cards, I would like them to be roughly that good, or no kind of cheap ass shenanigans. So having Lightning Bolt, even though Lightning Bolt is very used and very powerful, I do think that it is kind of not the best thing to put in a Secret Lair. However, in a Storm deck, it does seem very powerful, but with how many people have a Lightning Bolt, and like nearly every player I know that's played over a year have a Lightning Bolt, putting a different card in and then themselves putting a Lightning Bolt in makes sense to me. Ice Storm and, I'm going to say this wrong, Monomorphose or something like that are really good cards. I can see this with you storming off and then destroying one person or nearly everyone's lands, or they're really good lands if a lot of people have duels and tap lands and shock lands and stuff. This being really good in a Storm deck, and I really do like the art of both. The other one being pretty much a free draw spell, especially if you storm it off, you are going to be drawing potentially a lot and getting a lot of mana to do a then big massive X spell right after. But I do think the best card out of this whole Secret Lair is Jessica's Will. Jessica's Will is one of those cards that a lot of people have seen that are not the best players or newer at the game, and them going, it's alright. But this card is a game ender. This card is really powerful. A friend of mine absolutely loves this card and has won multiple games with it because of the stuff it does. Especially if you storm this off, this is 100% a game ender. especially if you have something like Crackling Power. This card literally wins you the game. If you draw Crackling Power and someone has, like, if you've stormed it like 5-6 times and then you put all that mana into Crackling Power, you've pretty much won the game. And then finally we're on to
Wolverine.
This one I'm not shocked of at all. Wolverine is one of the biggest known characters when it comes to Marvel, and in this Secret Lair you get
Wolverine, best there is, Berserk, Rhythm of the Wild, Rite of Passage, Adamantium Bonding Tank as the Ozolith.
Now in my opinion this is the second or best Secret Lair. It's a close with Storm. I do think Wolverine himself has a unique and cool ability. I do find the Commander card to be my type of playstyle, and I do think the regeneration does make sense. Berserk, Rite of Passage, and Rhythm of the Wild makes sense. I do know that Rhythm of the Wild is quite an easy card to get your hands on, but I do accept that it is not really reprinted that much, so having it in the Secret Lair is okay. I do find it to be the weakest card in this Secret Lair, but still a very powerful one, especially if you have your Commander. Then Berserk getting a second Secret Lair is fine with me because Berserk is a very pricey and game-ending card, and one of my favorite cards overall. I have a go-to deck that has Berserked way too many times and have won me games. So the fact that Berserk is getting another reprint is fine with me. Now when it comes to the Ozolith, I do find it good, and I do think it's okay in this deck, but I think it would have been better in the Black Panther deck in my opinion. But when it comes to the Marvel version of it, I don't know what it would be, because it does make sense with it being kind of the him getting his metal coating all over his bones and stuff card. So I do find it to be one of those cards that I'm like, it's good here, but also good in the Black Panther deck. I don't know where I would have rather it. When it comes to all of these, I'm kind of interested in the Wolverine deck. I'll see on the day if I buy it or not, because it's pretty much going to be a day buy when it comes to these Secret Lairs. I'm not the biggest fan of kind of Magic the Gathering X different universe, so I'm going to be biased, but I'm going to try my best. When it comes to all of these, I think they're all really good, but also have a lot of flaws. I do think the card selection in some of them are pretty weak, but the Commander and one or two of the cards make up for it. If you are a Marvel fan, I can see a lot of people buying these if it has their favorite Marvel kind of superhero in it. Overall, not putting in that it is a Magic X thing universe, solely based on the cards, its art, the card selection, I give the whole actual Secret Lair probably a 8.9. But I'm not done when it comes to this, because there is a huge thing I do like to talk about, and I wasn't actually thinking about it until I seen a video from Pleasant Kenobi, one of the biggest or bigger Magic the Gathering kind of YouTubers that I know and absolutely love watching their stuff. But they said,
but then I realised that to buy all 5 at non-foil is £200, which is the same price that I begrudgingly paid to get 4 Warhammer 40k decks, or 4 Doctor Who decks, or 4 Fallout decks. I didn't actually buy all 4 Fallout decks in the end. The point is, buying 4 precons like this at £200 is an expensive board game situation, or in the first place, but you are getting 100 cards per precon, and then you're getting, in the case of the Warhammer decks, for example, like 40 new cards per precon, plus every other card being reskinned with new art assets. In essence, the already price increased precons for the Universes Beyond products is such a good value proposition that by comparison, when we start to get Secret Lairs like this, it's not great. I am not keen, and it feels expensive and leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
Personally, I agree with him. I do think that I would rather spend 40 quid on a Wolverine deck and then change it around myself. But I do also see the other point. I asked a few of my friends and a few of my viewers what they think of it, and the majority was they would have rathered the deck, but there was a big split. But I do see where they come from. A lot of people I know have been playing for at least 5 years plus, so having a Secret Lair where you get a Commander and a handful of cards and you build the rest of the deck makes it that it is unique. However, if you buy the deck for 40 quid and you kind of want to keep all the Marvel cards together, it's then not really unique, and you kind of have a certain playstyle to play with. So when it comes to this, I do think, personally, in my opinion, I do agree with Pleasant Kenobi that they should have done, instead of a Secret Lair, doing a kind of Doctor Who or the Warhammer decks. But talking to friends, I do see the point of having these, paying 40 quid, the same price as you would one of them decks, but being able to use your cards that you have in your massive collection to be able to make your own unique deck that is perfect and tied for you. But if you have different opinions or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. While you're there, remember to like and subscribe. Sorry I'm not as lively as I usually am. I am really unwell at the moment, but I try my best to make content for all you beautiful people out there. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe, and if you want to see more, I have a video here, a playlist of more Magic the Gathering Is It Worth It stuff here, and a subscribe button here, and I will see you all hopefully in the next video.